none of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. F9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good, good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies, Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show on the channel. We're running a two-man crew right now. It's just myself, Gio. I'm the host this week. And Mr. Jacob Bartley. We will be joined by Mr. Brian Avalosino probably within the next 10 minutes. So he will be on his way. Keith is out, and Jake is also out as well. We may or may not miss you guys. We're still figuring that out.
I do. I miss them.
Jacob, what's good, man? How you been?
Been all right, man. So a lot of stuff going on. A few weeks ago I mentioned to you guys that I was in the process of a job interview. So I got the job, and Gio, obviously you know that. But it's just a great, opportunity for myself. So I'm very excited about it. It's in the educational field, but still, it's something that I'm very passionate about. I'll be working with students and testing them, helping them improve their reading and math skills. So, and it's a very important position. So I'm nervous, intimidated, but also excited. So thank you guys. Thank you, John Pierce. Thank you, John Booz. Really appreciate it.
There we go, right there, man.
So it's just, good times coming for sure.
John Pierce,
Samir.
John Booz, Samir, Gordon.
Appreciate it.
That's what it's all about, man. See, we get caught up in these movies and film Twitter and all this stuff and Discords and whatnot. We forget we all have lives. We all have our own journeys to go on and things we're working through. And that's what, makes, finding a community where you find a shared interest all the better, because it feels like you're part of something while you're on this journey. And
Absolutely.
You're just,
thank you, Jeremy.
Keep going.
Yeah, no.
Jeremy,
and it's like, I appreciate, our viewers thank you, Karen, that watch, and they get to see a little bit of glimpse of us every Tuesday and stuff, but it's like, we're all real people too, and we're all have things going on outside of this, but man, so it's crazy. Since our last podcast, I saw 3 movies in theaters.
What?
In 1
Do
week.
Share.
Yes.
What'd you watch?
So I told you that night, I went and watched The Little Mermaid, the live action adaptation, which really good. When you're comparing these to the original classics, that's a tough conversation. They're rarely better. But I really enjoyed it. I think Halle Bailey is a freaking superstar. Like, she is going to, whatever she wants to do. If she wants to pursue acting, fantastic. If she wants to pursue singing, she's amazing. If she wants to pursue theater, whatever she wants to do, her on-screen presence is impeccable, especially, which I'm surprised. No, that's a spoiler. Never mind. But
we've all seen the animated movie.
I know. On-screen presence is impeccable. All I'll say, even when she's not speaking, her on-screen presence is absolutely incredible. So I enjoyed that.
Quick question. Could you see her as the MCU's Aurora Monroe Storm?
Absolutely.
Is there potential?
If they're going young, that's the thing, though, is like, maybe we should save that comment for for when we talk about those topics. But yes, 100%. It depends. Are they going original 2001 X-Men Storm? No, but if they're trying to do a younger version, like what they were trying to do with the previous installments, and they're not going to bring that actress back, then I think she would be a great fit. She's fantastic. So like the movie's good, Little Mermaid, but she's the standout. It's like,
Right.
and I loved Melissa McCarthy as well. Absolutely loved Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I knew she was going to be a great fit for Ursula, and she freaking killed it. Absolutely killed it.
That's good to hear, man, because that's what a lot of people. I mean, they were going back and forth with that casting, but I mean, it sounds
I'm
like
a big Melissa McCarthy fan. Like I don't care. People hate on her. She's freaking hilarious. The movie Spy, I could watch that movie
hilarious
100 times over.
Yeah.
100 times over. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in Mr. Brian Avalosino before we.
Hey,
Brian, what's going on? Nice haircut, man.
Thank you. That's why I'm late. The hair and makeup lady took a little too long. So.
Oh, nice. Your skin looks nice too, man.
Thank you. It's the golden hour.
Natural lighting. Yeah.
Golden hour, man.
So,
natural light.
I've been listening, so I know exactly what we're talking about. Yes, Halle Bailey is amazing.
Oh, you saw it too, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was the one hyping you up before.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be curious to see if she would play Storm in the MCU.
She's already in the Disney house.
Yeah,
Disney umbrella. So
the House of Mouse. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, Brian, how are you doing real quick? Are you feeling good? You feeling fresh? There's something about getting a haircut and like it boosts something in you, whether it's the self-esteem, the confidence, or you're just like, you feel like it's payday, even though payday was just a few days ago and you already spent all your money on rent and bills and stuff. But
listen, my hair was ginormous, probably the biggest I've ever seen it, because of summer I just got lazy. And then it got to a point where I was just like, this can't go on anymore.
Well, and you're not working, right?
Exactly. So I don't care.
Yeah. So that's why I've been able to go watch these movies. And I met someone in town who can go with me. It's like I don't have to go alone or anything. So I know.
So I was thinking the same thing.
I met in town, like right down the street from me is all. And hey,
wow.
We, our schedules don't always line up. All right. But no, I'm not working either. I mean, I do DoorDash, but like, other than that, I'm no school job. Right. So a lot of free time.
Not the old one, the new one. I got you.
The new one. Yeah. Thanks to Brian.
They basically were like, should we give him this job? And I'm like, I guess. Yeah.
Brian put in a good word. Okay. I mean, it is one of Brian's friends who made the final decision. So thanks, Brian.
Man. Sometimes...
You should have seen the recommendation. I was like joking on like every question because I knew only she would read it.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, the last one's like,
dang, I hope that didn't go to like the CEO of Aspire or something.
No. It was like, I think the last one was like something along the lines of like, what should you know if we don't know anything? And I think I put like that if he doesn't work in this new job, he's totally going to come over to my side of the school.
That's so funny because ironically, someone from your side called me like 2 days later because I applied to both sides. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I already accepted a position. So that's funny that you said that.
That's funny. I wonder who it was. I bet it was principal.
It was the lady. Guy. I don't want to say his name, but it was a guy.
Okay.
It was a guy.
Then I know.
But I do want to say real quick because people were asking the other two movies I saw.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Are Elemental, which is amazing.
Is it? I actually want to see it.
It's so like, I mean, I don't think the quality of Pixar movies has dropped. I just think the specialness went away because they were releasing them on Disney Plus and not putting them to theaters. Because I really like Soul. Was Luca was Pixar, right?
Yep.
Luca, I really like Luca and Soul actually, but
I love Luca.
Yeah, I know you love Luca, but I remember when it came out, you were hyped about it. But for me, like, all right, I love Inside Out. Like Gio knows how much I love that movie. This, like, I'm not saying this is Inside Out. It's not. It's totally different. But like, it has a similar-ish, like, concept. Like,
yeah,
they're not the same concept, but it's a similar type of concept. So I absolutely loved Elemental. Out of the three movies I saw, it's the best one. The third one being Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, which I really enjoyed.
Okay, good.
I still haven't caught that one. I want really enjoyed it. I still think Bumblebee is the best Transformers movie, but I think this is number 2.
Okay.
And Gio, the
That
last
ending,
scene of the
the
movie. Oh
ending,
my!
Brian,
I
that
lost
alone
it.
is worth the admission.
I
Alone is worth.
That's
I lost it.
probably next to Indy, probably the next movie I'm seeing.
Yeah. And the thing with the Transformers movies, the special effects are always incredible. Like even if the movies suck, the special effects are always incredible. And you know who I love is Anthony Ramos. He's incredible. Like he's so good. I want to watch In the Heights because he was in it. But yeah, but I enjoyed it.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't. And now I want to watch it just because
that's
of him.
shocking to me. I thought
I know.
sure
just
you would.
yeah, I'm gonna check that out soon. But yeah, good time to be a movie fan. A lot of.
I'm trying to think if
I mean, as if you like good movies, but maybe box office isn't representation of that, though.
Oh, I take that back. I think the next movie I desperately want to see is No Hard Feelings.
I want to see that too.
It looks so funny.
Yeah.
Like that's the perfect humor for that I like.
I want to see No Hard Feelings. And me and Gio and I were talking a couple weeks ago, like they don't make comedies anymore.
No, not like, R-rated comedies.
And not comedies in the theater. Like they make comedies on streaming services.
Yeah.
But they don't make them in theaters anymore. So I'm curious to see how that does, but probably terribly.
No, it's doing not horrible.
Well, it probably has a low budget is the thing.
I'm not 100% sure. All I know is I was watching Jennifer Lawrence talk about it, and she said that this movie was getting ready to be made in like 2018. And
right.
They've been sitting on it because of the pandemic, and then
it's not bad.
Timing.
I mean, 25 million worldwide for that movie. It's not terrible.
As long as it's not $100 million movie.
Hey, 16 million opening weekend for that? It's not bad.
I mean, in the midst of all the movies that are going on, I'm sure it's going to take a hit once Indy comes out.
They don't list the budget right there on anymore. Interesting. I'm not going to say the website. I don't want to give them credit. Anyways.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Google says it's a 45 million.
Okay.
Budget.
So it needs to make a little bit more. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the box office. I think Indy and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning are going to be the two that determine if they're able to get out of this slump right now. Because I'm
wondering about Dead Reckoning because Top Gun, like, is that are people like that audience, like the older audience that went and saw Top Gun came out, are they gonna go watch Mission Impossible? Like, I'm curious about that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the draw from the last one was Henry Cavill, I think.
Yeah.
That was definitely.
I loved him in that.
I mean, he was fantastic. So I'm curious. I mean, I think it's got a pretty good chance to be pretty amazing. Budget was almost $300 million. So,
damn.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, Tom Cruise, one of the last few names that can draw people into the theaters. So
like one of the last movie stars, like true movie stars.
I would say last few action stars.
Hero stars. Yeah, for sure. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some of the topics here. We got 3 topics we're going to talk about here. 1 DC, 1 Marvel, and 1 just about the. I mean, it can go beyond the comic book movie genre. If the thumbnail, if you guys didn't see, we're going to talk about Superman Legacy, the official cast of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. We're going to talk Kraven the Hunter first trailer. And we're going to bring up the question, why can't villains just be villains? It seems like they're trying to these studios are thinking like, okay, if we can make a villain, and how do we turn it into a franchise? Well, it's, we'll get into it. We'll get into all of that. So let's start with the big piece, the one that dropped a few hours ago. So we know James Gunn's DCU is officially on the way. He talked about Blue Beetle being the first character that will be in his DCU, despite the movie being made pre James Gunn and Peter Safran becoming co-chairmen of the new DC studios. So Superman Legacy is a big movie for many reasons. And the question that everyone's been asking is, who's going to be Superman? Who's the next one? And I think they had initially planned for this to be announced at Comic-Con, but in lieu of the writer's strike that's going on and the uncertainty about all these future projects that had scripts that were in development, I'm hearing that Comic-Con, Hall H, Marvel's pulling out, Sony's pulling out, Warner
Everyone.
Brothers is pulling out, everybody's pulling out. And so today the news dropped that James Gunn has found, and he confirmed this, he has found his Clark Kent, aka Superman, and Lois Lane. And they are as follows. David Cornsweet from Pearl has been cast as Superman Clark Kent. Cornsweet is 29 years old. Rachel Brosnahan from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel will play Lois Lane. Brosnahan is 32 years old. James Gunn confirmed this on social media, saying they are not only both incredible actors, but also wonderful people. Now, I'll go real quick because I really want to hear from you guys. I am not familiar with either of these actors' work. I have not seen anything from David Cornsweet. And unfortunately, I have not seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I mean, if Jake Berlin wasn't enough, now I really know based on this casting that I'm missing out. And I'm going to have some, homework to do to see this work right now. But all I can say, given that I don't know the work of these two actors, is that I do trust James Gunn. I like what he has said recently about the comic book movie genre and in regards to lazy writing and third acts and just being, or anticlimactic. He didn't say that, but it just didn't gel paraphrase. I do enjoy what James Gunn has in store. Like I am confident about what he has in store for DC Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And there's a reason why Kevin Feige, was kind of I don't want to say heartbroken, but like he felt that loss of James Gunn going to DC. There were talks that James Gunn was very involved in, the storytelling and the planning of the future of the MCU. So I think DC has a bright future. It needs to have somebody like a James Gunn at the forefront who can, lead these rich characters into a better tomorrow. And what better way to start off than Superman Legacy? So whoever wants to start first, if anybody has any exposure to these actors and their incredible work and what they think about this casting, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, my thoughts are very similar to Gio's because I haven't seen either of them in much. Have you?
I have seen minimal of each of them.
I was wondering because I know Jake loves the one Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so I wondered if you watched it too.
I think I watched the first.
I watched the first
3
episode
seasons?
a long time ago. Yeah,
I think
so you're familiar with her then?
I've watched seasons, at least 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's fantastic. I mean, to be honest, I would be more excited about her than I would be him. There's a reason that show is so acclaimed.
She won Emmys for it, right?
I mean, I don't really know. Jake is the person to speak on it because that's like he has said on record that like that's one of the greatest shows of all time for him.
Right.
And one of his favorite
I've been wanting to check it out, but it's just hard. There's so much to watch.
Yeah. So she's fantastic. That with her I'm the most confident in. I was like, when I saw that one, I was between her and the girl from Sex Education. That's going to be in the Barbie movie. I am drawing a freaking blank on her name.
Emma Mackey.
Yes, thank you. She would have been fantastic too. I would have really enjoyed her. I can't even tell you who the other person was. Those two were the ones that immediately drew my eyes. And I was fine with either of those, honestly. But she's just such a proven star. So
yeah,
I mean, it's her. No.
I mean, she does stand-up comedy, right, in the show?
In the show, yeah, she's a
So
female.
I'm guessing
comedian.
she's funny.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I don't know how much of it is writing, but
yeah.
I mean,
but she still has to deliver it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The delivery, yeah.
100%. She's fantastic.
So I'm thinking,
no issues with her. Him, I've only had one exposure to, and that was Netflix's show Hollywood. And he wasn't. I can't remember exactly. I forget. That came out a while ago. That show was just kind of all over the place. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of all over the place. So like, I don't want to like critique him too hard on it. The show didn't get rave reviews or anything. But he was good in it. So I mean, it's hard to bag on someone when they don't have.
Yeah, he doesn't have a long history of work, but
I mean, he looks,
which I'm okay with. Like he's a relatively unknown, and she's not. So, I mean, she's not a superstar, but like she's like
she is.
People know the
music.
show. They don't. She's not a household name yet, but people know the show. I think. Like
she will
casual viewers don't know her name when you say her name. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm totally fine with honestly whoever. I love him to death. I think he is a fantastic actor. I never saw Nicholas Hoult as Superman.
So these are official, right? Like they chose
James Gunn. Like after it dropped, like 15 minutes later, was like, "Yup," and I was because like it's funny when it dropped, I was like, "Bullshit!" Like there's no way they're not. It seemed like it came super fast, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Yup." I think that's literally what he said. Like, "Yup," and I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like they are actually announcing this, and this is what it is.
Yeah,
because it blew up Twitter.
Which
interesting.
All in the Game here has a theory about that. Today's announcement of David Cornside and Rachel Brosnahan as the new DCU Clark Kent and Lois Lane was definitely done to deflect the stink of the Flash bombing.
Probably.
R.I.P. Julian Sands.
That makes sense because nobody's talking about the Flash now. Like everyone's talking about this.
Well, no, they're still talking about the Flash. They're milking that thing and celebrating and everything. But it's it makes sense because James Gunn didn't really have that much to do with the Flash movie. So he's trying to do some damage control as far as the DC brand goes, which assuming general audiences even can differentiate Marvel and DC, and if Batman a part of the Avengers. Or is Thor on the Justice League? You know what I mean? So, I guess it's
Thor
more
on
so
the Justice League.
He's saying like
you'd be surprised, man.
Of people, it's true. I mean, I see it every day. Not every day, but I see it a lot too. Like people's confused. Like,
So, how are you guys feeling about Superman Legacy? Like, give us an update on your.
Well, I did want to say real quick, like,
go ahead.
My thoughts on the actors. I mean, I don't.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I haven't seen them, so I watched the first episode of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but like I had planning to get back to it at some point. So now I definitely want to check it out so I can see what we're in for. For her as Lois Lane. No, go ahead.
I just saw the top 3 for the females. I just must not have realized that the last choice was there
was
I forget
Samara
her name.
Weaving and
the the three that were in the running was Rachel Brosnahan, the one who they obviously chose, Emma Mackey, and then I didn't realize until right now the third one was the main female lead in Bridgerton season 1. She was
okay.
main. She was good. I don't think she would have been fantastic as.
Are you talking about Phoebe?
Yeah, Phoebe. I don't know. I don't want to butcher her name.
Yeah.
She was good. I mean, Rachel Brosnahan and Emma Mackey are way better in my opinion.
Yeah.
I never saw Nicholas Hoult. Like I said, he just doesn't look. He just doesn't like. There's something about him, and I'm not hating on him. I think he's freaking fantastic.
They talked about him for Bruce Wayne too. He was in the running for that also.
Yeah, he's lost out on Bruce Wayne, and
I just honestly, for me, I can't get him out of the role, like him as the roles that I've seen him in already, out of my head. That's whether that's fair or not. I just can't. But okay, so I think so. David Cornsweet, right? I don't know anything about him, but he has the look. And he's 6'4".
He's
so
huge.
Like for me, I want Superman to look big, and I think he's gonna obviously get in the gym once you find out you're gonna be playing Superman.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But you know what this reminds me of? I think. Well, I don't know anything about David Cornsweet. I don't know if he's charismatic, if he can carry his on-screen presence. I don't know anything about that. But she has on-screen presence. She can carry scenes, right? I'm thinking of this like Wonder Woman, right? Where Gal Gadot was kind of like the naive hero, and then Chris Pine was carrying the show with the dialogue, not the show, you know what I mean? Not literally the show, but she was carrying the movie with his charisma and his dialogue. I think they're going to do a similar thing with this, where like he's going to be Superman, right? Kindness. They talked about all that, and I think she's going to be the one carrying the movie in a way, bouncing off of him. So I'm excited about that, honestly. And James Gunn wrote the roles. So like Gio said, we trust James Gunn. He chose the right actors for his characters. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I mean, if anything, you think back to when, Guardians of the Galaxy, first off, nobody knew what Guardians of the Galaxy was, or very few people did. And then you get Chris Pratt. You're like, Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec? And then look what happened. Now Chris Pratt's household name. And the same thing could happen. I want to show you guys this real quick on Twitter. And I don't care if Jake gets upset, but look at that.
They do look.
You guys see it?
Yeah, they are very similar.
Karen right here. Henry Cavill's younger brother.
Yeah, it is a very ironic.
If you think about it, all the Supermans, they all look similar. But they look like they could be related, though. I'm not gonna lie.
The three that they had all had decently different looks. Yeah. The final
it's always,
three,
though, pale skin, black hair, sometimes blue eyes. Like it's always that.
Well,
maybe a spit curl, and we'll see.
But that's the look of Superman, right? That's what he looks like. So
if we were going off of the looks of the three that they narrowed it down to, he's freaking a spitting image of what Superman would look like. I'll show you. I have pictures. So the other guy was Tom Brittney. And hasn't been in much, which doesn't mean anything. You can not be in a bunch.
Right, Daisy really saying what?
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't mean anything. Let me see. But I'm fine with what they did. Okay, so here they are. So these were the three on each side.
Yeah.
So at least that's what everyone was saying. The man looks just like he's taken out of a Superman comic.
Yeah.
And they all, to me, relatively look kind of different.
Yeah.
I don't know
that's
what
fair.
Nicholas Hoult just doesn't give me Superman.
More like some sort of Constantine variant.
In that picture, yeah. I could see he could be a
Wow.
Green Lantern.
Hey,
I
somebody
could see
said
that.
about the menu, he was fantastic in
He
All
was
in the Game. He's
yeah.
fantastic in the menu, but that doesn't mean we
Oh
want him
yeah,
as Superman.
I hated his character.
But you're supposed to hate his character
Yes.
in that movie. Yeah.
The
Effective.
menu is
effective
fantastic.
writing.
I
Yeah.
even I liked it.
Mhm.
I mean, to me, Emma Mackey gives me that like classic Lois Lane.
Is that the middle
type-
one?
No, the
Or
one next
The
to
bottom one?
David Cornsweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And she's in Sex Education. She's fantastic in that show.
Mm.
And then the one in the middle is the one from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
I'm fine with either of them, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly went for the young look.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the middle, what did I say his name was? Tom Brittany. I just remember his last name's Brittany. He gives me like almost like two.
I'm just look, James Gunn, he knows what he's doing because you start. I mean, they tried with Man of Steel, right? But at least he know. But then they deviated away from Superman for so long. Superman is the crown jewel of superheroes, but also DC. Like it's obviously it's Batman and Superman, right? But like Superman's the superhero. So you gotta start with Superman, make him the center of your universe. So I think that's what we're getting.
I just think it's going to be very interesting because from what we've heard, it sounds like Superman is the new guy on the block in an already established
world of superheroes,
world of heroes
yeah.
and stuff. So
I'm down with that.
I think that's gonna be interesting. I'm just hoping I'm not saying this because of any disdain for DC or anything.
Sure.
I am just hoping. I almost kind of wish DC would kind of do what Star Wars is doing with movies right now and just kind of disappear for a little bit and then boom. Because like I am terrified that a year is not long enough to wipe the bad
What's the release date again? What's the year?
2025.
2025. But
you're getting
go ahead,
Aquaman.
Brian,
Aren't you getting Aquaman at the end of this year, beginning of next year?
Yeah.
So,
we're getting Blue Beetle in about a month and a week. So which that could, if that's a modest hit, that's a good thing, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. I just fear the burnout of DC being.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
You're fine. I am just. I don't
take the rest of the night off.
Yeah, I just don't want the negativity to drag into something new. I think that the chances of DC doing what they should have been doing from day one is very high. A connected universe that was planned out. That's literally all they needed to do. So I am hopeful that we are on the right path. I just fear the general audience being like, here we go again. It's only been so long. Because I didn't think The Flash was going to be like Avengers Endgame breaking. Right. I did never in a million years expected it to be this low.
Neither did Warner Brothers Discovery.
I
David
mean,
Zaslav is probably like, maybe I need to cut Aquaman and get some of that money back.
Like, I don't get me wrong. I love the first Aquaman. The way that dropped, I wouldn't.
Oh, I'm scared.
I wouldn't hate it if they just wiped it. It scares me.
They might just like not release it.
No, they're gonna attempt it, but it's just
they want to get that money back.
It's
And
just
Jason
scary.
Momoa is still a draw, you know.
Of course.
Like,
I mean, the first one made $1 billion.
yeah.
How can we go from $1 billion movie to a flop? I'm not saying it's gonna flop. I'm just saying I don't see that. I see at least 500 million worldwide, at least.
Unless the DC fatigue is just hard, and that scares me. But at the same time, the Batman did really good. What?
Maybe announcing that the DCU
for these,
was ending.
100%.
I mean, as far as like getting fans out of here, like, I mean, there's still fans who saw the movie because, you know, Keaton. Like, how the hell are you gonna, you know, miss the opportunity to see Keaton one more time on the big screen? But like all the Snyderverse fan, well, not all the Snyderverse fans, but like a majority of them were just like, I don't want to see this shit, you know. Justice for I stand with Ray Fisher, or I, you know, don't like, you know, that this movie's not going to mean anything, like it's not going to go anywhere, and you know, all that crap. But yeah, I mean, the fact they're doing major reshoots on the Lost Kingdom, and God knows what.
I heard, you know, that tested horribly.
Yeah, it's all bad. But you know what? Like, DC is more than just the DCEU, right? I mean, because, you know, Blue Beetle is a modest hit, and then like you got Joker, Folie à Deux, you know,
Batman.
and you got the Batman, the Reevesverse, you know. So like,
well, that's also part of the DC brand, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all DC. Like, general audiences are probably like, okay, so Robert Pattinson is going to show up on screen with Gal Gadot, right? Like that's going to happen, right? And probably that could have happened at some point. But
it's ballsy to start your new thing off with Superman after this, personally. Like, it's.
But that's why it's James Gunn.
What
like
style they're going to go for? You know how like the DCEU had this dark, and I don't mean tone like. I mean dark tone as far as look goes.
Right.
Like the aesthetics of it. Like it looked very like a dark world. Like it looks like
grounded,
it was apocalypse all the time in the DCEU. Like,
I think you'll get.
Are they going for more like, I don't know. We'll see.
I think if I had to guess, it'd be more like optimistic, bright with Superman start of the new.
It might depend on the movie too. Like Brave and the Bold might look a lot different than
Superman 100%. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And
I'm excited though, like to get, like, don't get me wrong, I love the DCEU and appreciate it for what it was, but I'm excited just like because I love these characters, so I'm just so excited to see something from them.
Yeah, I just hope and pray that a year gap is enough time for just people to just like let it breathe and start again. Because I really want, if you are a comic book fan, you're rooting for both sides. It's not like if you are a fan of comic books, you're rooting for both sides. You are not picking sides. So every bit of me wants them to do just as great as Marvel did. So like, I just hope it gets the chance it deserves. That's my biggest fear, is it not getting the chance that it deserves because of the disdain and taste from all the BS that came from the last go around. So, because it's not fair to these properties. I mean, these like we've said so much, Superman and Batman are two of the top 3 most worldwide well-known superheroes of all time. It's hard to think of anyone that will ever top those two. They say those two and Spider-Man, the most worldwide recognized characters. They deserve just as much of a shot as anything else. And now that it seems to be more planned out, they have a goal, they have a story that they're telling. And it seems like no one, hopefully, is going to interfere this time. Give it its shot. That's all I hope for.
Yeah. A couple things here in the chat. Do we know if Lex Luthor will be the bad guy in Superman Legacy? Hasn't been officially announced, but I'll tell you yes. Vanessa Kirby seems to be a lock for Sue Storm.
Okay.
And
I don't know.
There was one more.
I don't know.
This one right here stood out to me. DCU needs to show it can make hits and money without Batman, like the MCU did without Spidey, and really without a lot of its characters. You think the MCU when it started it had its full roster? No, it didn't. It was missing Spider-Man, it was missing X-Men, and
well, I think that's what he's doing with the first slate. He's got the main hitters of Batman and Superman in there, but
and even Wonder Woman,
that's right. She's on.
Yeah,
it's the
Paradise
Lost. Yeah. But I mean,
Green Lantern. Yeah, he's not wasting
Creature Commandos is not. I didn't know what Creature Commandos was.
Yeah.
And then
Waller.
Not Waller. What's the other one?
Booster Gold.
No,
you got Swamp Thing.
Kind of. No, it's the group, the team. I'm drawing a freaking blank on it.
The Authority.
The Authority.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Casual fans don't know
about that. Oh, that's awesome.
That could be awesome. So it's like
they're gonna go toe to toe with the Justice League. It's gonna be so
100%.
Awesome.
And it's even more interesting knowing that the superheroes are already around.
It already exists. I like
Legacy
that. I don't want to see like the origin of a superhero universe.
Yeah, we don't need all 7 origin stories.
Everybody already exists.
Past that. The genre is past that.
But you'll get origin stories within it eventually. Yeah. Like a Blue Beetle type thing, like new characters.
Or Shang-Chi.
Yeah. But
I'm very
the
curious
characters that we all know, just have them established. Yeah.
I'm very curious how they go about Green Lantern.
Oh, give me True Detective Space Cop.
I mean, that's what they said.
As far I'm just curious where they started. Like, clearly this isn't going to be the how Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan became Green Lanterns. Clearly, they're already established.
Mm-hmm. So especially Hal Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious how they go about that. Maybe if it's just a flashback or something. I mean, it would make the most sense being a flashback because we've never seen Jon Stewart mainstream live action. So Hal Jordan we have, but yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm optimistic. I mean, you got to be. If you want good stuff, you got to be at least slightly. Shane, Glenn Powell for Hal Jordan every day. But yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
God, I would love that casting, Glenn Powell. Come on, it's right
also,
there. He's right there, James Gunn.
I'm also not opposed to Nicholas Hoult being the Lex Luthor.
I mean,
that's what I was rooting for.
I'm down for that. See, that I'm down for.
Yeah. It's funny because when they dropped that list of the 3, I was like, he's going to be in Superman or is he going to be someone else?
And then it was happened before was Thor. Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Thor, but
I guarantee you,
and they moved him to Loki because they loved him so much.
I guarantee you, those other 4 actors, James Gunn will find somewhere to
pop
put
up
them
somewhere in the DC. Yeah,
guarantee it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I could see the way Nicholas Hoult played in The Menu. Like I could see that as a Lex Luthor, like that kind of sneaky, devious.
I could totally see him playing.
I could see him running for a political office type Lex Luthor like that.
President Luthor. Man,
I could see it. So I would not be opposed to him playing opposite of the character that he went for. I think it'd be kind of cool, personally.
Well, Brian, are you opposed to a Kraven the Hunter solo movie? Because that is our next topic right there.
Yeah.
Yes, we got our first official trailer for Kraven the Hunter, the Red Band trailer, and it was a result of the trailer getting leaked. I don't know if anybody saw that on social media. They released the poster. Next thing you know, the trailer was available. It was a poor quality, but then they released it. I actually downloaded the trailer and was getting ready to share it on Discord. But yep, it is here. Directed by J.C. Chandor. This is Kraven's first live action appearance, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. This is Aaron Taylor Johnson's 3rd go at playing a comic book character. First one was Kick-Ass, when we played Kick-Ass, and second one was where he played Quicksilver. God, what's Quicksilver's name?
Pietro.
Pietro. Yes, Maximo. Thank you. Yeah,
Didn't see that coming. You know what's funny? That like Age of Ultron, nobody really talks about Age of Ultron anymore, even though I freaking love it. But people always say, like, they reference that. Didn't see that coming. Those were his last words.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
I mean, he literally kept him for 3/4 of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
I actually liked him. Like,
so did I.
Yeah. I'm still pissed about that WandaVision little misdirect that they did.
Oh, yeah, that was
God damn it. Anyways,
I don't know about you two, but when Age of Ultron was coming out, I knew his character was not surviving through it because he was nowhere in any of the marketing.
Oh,
nowhere.
But was
nowhere.
Was Scarlet?
Yes, she was on everything.
Oh yeah.
So they knew, like, we don't even need to market this character, build him up, because we're killing him.
On all the merchandise, all the posters, everything. He was never there. Mostly the merchandise. Posters every so often.
They kind of shorthanded him a little bit. Like,
absolutely.
A speedster could have caught those bullets in midair and saved them. Like, maybe he's not that powerful, I guess. I don't know.
I think it was Flash. More or less he was untrained, but
that's true.
Still.
That's very true. Yeah.
Kraven.
Well, what do you guys think of the first trailer? Jacob, I know we just watched it, and there's some pretty graphic stuff in there. He chewed a guy's nose off. Didn't chew it, bit it off. And you got arrows going into people,
not Brian's
and
cup
stuck
of tea,
to the wall.
Oh, no, I'm fine with that. I just think they are very much going like, we're making a rated R one. Watch. Like, that's what I get from this. Like, it's like, this one's going to be rated R. Watch, he's going to bite someone's nose off. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
you got Russell Crowe playing Papa Kraven off.
Did you see someone made a thing of all the times Russell Crowe has played someone's dad?
Yeah.
I think it even specifically in comic book movies, and there's like 4.
There's Jor-El.
Jor-El, now Kraven.
I mean, Zeus counts.
Zeus.
Because he's Hercules' dad.
Yep. And then there was one other.
There's probably another one.
I don't know. But it was just like, when is this man going to not be someone's dad? But go ahead, Gio. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. Hey, look, the trailer's all right. You know, it wasn't the best made trailer, and I do like the fact that it's rated R. But the whole, like, Sony, we know they hit every time with the animated, right? They got a great thing going on with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. Outside of that, the way they handle the Spider-Man universe, I mean, Morbius was just awful, and now you got Kraven the Hunter, and it's just like, I mean, we'll see, you know? I don't know. I mean, the whole spiders coming down was like really in your face, like, hey, this is in the Spider-Man universe and whatnot. And it's just, I don't know what they have planned. Like, where does this movie, we talked about DC and, their lack of planning with the, previous regime. And like, with this one too, it's like, you got Venom, which, Let There Be Carnage I wasn't really too much of a fan of that. I loved the first Venom, really enjoyed it, but it's just, I don't know. We'll see. And then you have El Muerto on.
That one got. Do you see that?
Yeah,
it's funny. You said he's out.
Yeah, it's on the shelf right now.
Is the movie canceled, or is he just
not
out?
The movie? They just said he was done, but it's like
interesting.
What? So God. Don't even get. I guess that's actually what we're talking about.
But the thing is,
I can't get started.
Sonyverse. I mean, if you're counting Venom and the Spider-Verse movies, it's successful. Honestly,
Jacob, their last non-Spider-Man movies is Venom, Venom 2, Morbius. And Kraven.
Yeah, I mean, Kraven hasn't came out yet, but what I'm saying is, look, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Not financial hit, but like a beloved, like took the world by storm. Venom, Venom 1, very financially successful.
900 million.
Venom 2, not a flop. And there's a corner of the movie community that love those Venom movies. It's true. Like, they're not like absolute complete trash, at least in my opinion.
Second one's better than the first one,
and they did well box office. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, everybody says it's better than the first one, and it did very well compared to the first one. So, like, it's not a complete like dumpster fire. Like, Morbius obviously was, but I think the jury's still out on the Sony Spider-Verse. Like, it's not a failure yet or anything like that.
I just think there's just no plan. It just
I agree with that. Like, they're just throwing stuff to see what sticks at the wall, right?
Yeah, like this Madam Web. Like, I'm like
Madam Web. I didn't even mention that one. Yeah,
I'm like, what? Like, I like Dakota Johnson a lot, so like you're getting my attention there, but like I don't know. I just don't understand.
What's the guy's name who plays Ben on Parks and Rec? He's the male lead in that. In Madam Web.
Adam Scott.
I love Adam Scott too. So that movie could be interesting.
It's just, I don't know. And the villain of Kraven
is Rhino.
Is a villain of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Of course they have to do that.
But
in a way,
I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get what they're doing. Like, they don't even know what are they doing with Vulture? Like, I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I said they have an easy way to retcon him now for Morbius because of Across the Spider-Verse setting up that thing where they just randomly accidentally sometimes fall into different places. And someone has to just take them back.
That post-credit scene is just awful.
Which one? Oh, the Morbius one? I never saw Morbius. I've never felt... I will not watch Morbius.
I've never felt physical pain. Physical pain while watching a movie before, like I have Morbius.
Yeah, I think, Shane, you might be onto something, because I think Russell Crowe is going to be the main...
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's just like... Spider-Man has arguably the greatest villain set.
That's why they're doing it, though.
I know, but they're doing it so bad. It's so bad. Like, unless
what does it mean that Kevin Feige is consulting though?
On Kraven?
On the whole Sonyverse. Like, he's consulting.
I think he's consulting them, but like at the end of the day, they're the ones.
I think his
shooting
consulting
is in the foot.
Let me just double check to make sure it doesn't contradict anything in my universe.
Yes.
Okay, nope. All right, you're good. I think that's his contribution, and that's it. Honestly, I really do.
I just,
I don't know. I mean, like, because Sony's being very generous by letting Marvel
use
Spider-Man.
I think it's unfair to say that their plan to make villain movies has been so bad. I don't know.
They may be generous in Marvel using their character, but let's not get it twisted. They need it just as bad as Marvel wants it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Well, at the time, with the leaks and everything,
Tom Holland is great. Don't get me wrong, but I have a hard time believing Sony was going to pull off Spider-Man: Homecoming all on their own. There is no way.
Oh, well, of course, no. Kevin Feige obviously has control over the Tom Holland ones.
I mean, even without, let's just say, even without Iron Man, take away everything the Iron Man from Homecoming, play out the story of him just being Spider-Man, which for the most part, yes, Iron Man's the overarching like person, but you don't need him for that story. You could have easily told high school loser, friend has a crush, dad ends up being the bad guy. Like, that could have been told. I guarantee you they would have made that shit batshit crazy. Like, I just don't see. I mean, I love Andrew Garfield so much, those movies weren't like the greatest thing of all time.
No.
Okay?
First one's
Like,
good, second one's terrible.
So there is nothing. We love those movies now because it's now fun because they were all in the same movie and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, it has a bigger leg to stand on because now it's in this overarching amazing thing that's happening. But before that, those movies were getting shat on. Like, people liked certain things, but like they destroyed those. So for me, Sony has not done anything on their own, in my opinion, that is going to be like, damn, they can really knock this out of the park. I'm sorry. I don't think Sony is capable of doing it without help. At all.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
but you're not talking about the Spider-Verse movies, like, because they do those.
Those are in
kind of a separate
class
thing.
Yeah, those are in a class of its own.
Yeah, you're talking about their live action.
Yes,
Spider-Verse
live action.
movies.
For whatever reason, they cannot make a live action successful to save their life.
To be fair, to your point, they haven't had one that's universally loved by everyone and a financial hit.
Yeah,
they haven't.
On their own.
Yeah,
this is
on their
excluding
own.
Homecoming, Far From Home,
Tom Holland, and Across the Spider-Verse. And
yes,
Spider-Verse. Yeah.
I don't know. At least since, I mean, I almost kind of put OG Spider-Man separate a little bit too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
that was just. I mean, it
was a different time.
It's a totally different era. Those don't count. Even though Amy Pascal was still there, it's like you can't say, "Look, they made the."
I think the most
telling, the
most telling thing for me, one of the things that makes me most like, they know it's crap, is how everyone's like, just connect it to Andrew Garfield's universe. How many times have we heard that?
A lot.
Venom's gonna put Venom in Andrew Garfield's universe. Put Morbius in Andrew Garfield's universe. Put Kraven in Andrew Garfield's universe.
You could just say they're all.
If they're so good, why are we putting them with the, for a lack of better terms, crappiest of the Spider-Mans?
Because Kevin Feige's not having these movies impact his universe. You know,
there's a reason Venom popped in and popped out of the MCU for under 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's fair.
Which made no sense at all.
No.
But
and there's a reason why they popped him in, popped him out, and left a little bit of the Venom symbiote in our universe to maybe start a whole new character, a whole new Venom.
That was them saying you're not going to see Tom Hardy 100%. Back in this universe. Yeah,
100%.
Maybe though. Who knows? I mean, who knows?
It just doesn't. I don't know. And there's a reason why certain things are getting cherry picked. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope Kraven is the most badass movie of all time. Don't get me great. But I don't, they've never given me anything outside of Spider-Verse to make me trust them and be like, yeah, this is going to kick ass.
Who's Gio? Do you know who's directing this?
JC Chandor.
Do we know what they've done?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So can't go anything based off that. Look, I mean, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson as an actor, as a performer, especially after seeing Bullet Train. Like, Bullet Train is the movie that, like, made me kind of see him in a different light. Like, now I can see, because I kind of saw him as the boy from Kick-Ass for a long time. Like, and I could never get that out of my head. But now, like, once I see him in like Bullet Train, that's a grown man right there. Like, he could be an action star. And so to see him in this is cool. I don't know. I am worried like you, Brian, because like if it's not at least good, like it's going to look really bad. Like, what is that going to say for Madam Web? Like, for all these other movies that are coming, like, can they at least get like one like universal hit under their belt with this franchise? I don't know.
I'm slightly, I don't know why, slightly more optimistic for Madam Web. I think they know that they can't fuck that one up that bad, because that will set them back, because they're clearly bringing in other spider people.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like we talked about it, eventually we're going to see Miles Morales in live action somehow, some way.
Yeah.
If that is where I think they can make a huge change. And like if they can say, okay, we're going to build like our Spider-Man in our Sonyverse is Miles Morales. They could do something like that. And I'm not saying connect Morbius and Kraven to him. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm saying eventually down the road, you make it that way, and then Tom Holland stays in the MCU, whatever. That could be something they can toy with, but
it's just, yeah. It's, for me, the biggest like shine in my face that it's so obvious that whatever person is in charge of the live action doesn't know what they're doing. Look at this. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse animated. Blown out success. And people were saying they're better than the live action movies. All of them. Okay? Video games. The Spider-Man video game did crazy numbers. And so did the Miles Morales spinoff. And now you're getting Spider-Man 2.
The new one looks so good.
One, which looks incredible. And that movie, or that video game, is going to blow up. So you have 2 of the 3 biggest forms of media for this character. Animated, video games, and live action. Which one's not doing successful?
Live action movies, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it just doesn't, something needs to change, and it's just not. And I know the main thing we're supposed to be talking about is how they're making all these characters good.
Yeah, let's get into it. Why can't villains just be villains? With Kraven the Hunter, you got Black Adam. I mean, what's going on, guys? Although I will say Black Adam in the later issues was more of an anti-hero than a villain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and you know what? I will give.
And so is Kraven, actually. If you do some research, he is an anti-hero at times. He's still like his intentions are always bad, but
I don't know. He arguably has the greatest Spider-Man run, and he is a villain.
Oh no, for sure. But I'm saying there's been times where like Nick Fury asks him to join the Avengers, or like he's like teaming up with Squirrel Girl and stuff. There's been times where
if he's doing it, there's good for a singular reason. Yeah, but it's typically not a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just like
his motives are always awful.
Yes.
Like,
okay, you're right, Nussbaum. They are doing it for the same exact reason.
Cruella,
I give a pass.
Yeah, that movie is amazing.
Here's the thing with Cruella. Her story is the telling of how she became Cruella. There's a difference between how she got to that point and restructuring the whole entire character.
That's a good point. It's not like she's operating as Cruella DeVille, the hero.
By the end of that movie, the screws have come off, and she's turning into that bad character. Maleficent, they just said, we're just going to go bat crazy and say that she was good up until this point.
Right.
It's like, no, her title is Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil. That is literally her Disney title. My mom is obsessed with Disney villains ever since I was born, and I can remember her favorite 3 villains: Cruella DeVille, Maleficent, and the Evil Queen from Snow White. And she has always been called Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil.
And they don't even include that in the title of the movies, right?
No. Because the title. I think it's the subtitle of the second one. But see, they changed the whole entire thing and tried to make this like, oh, she's friends with Snow White.
It is Mistress of Evil, the second one. But still, she's still not a villain like in that movie.
Exactly. So help me God. So help me God. If Gal Gadot ends up being nice to Snow White in the Snow White movie with what's her face?
Is
Rachel.
Gal Gadot playing the evil queen?
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
It's Gal Gadot and
dude.
Oh my God, what's her name?
Is it Rachel Zegler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So help me God, if she is nice in any way to Snow White, I'm out, because she is pure evil to Snow White. So like, we need to let these bad guys be bad guys. You don't need to sympathize with them and be like, oh, like they're really good at no, they're not. They are downright killers. Like it. Kraven to me has always been, from the animated shows, just a ruthless, bloodthirsty killer. Like, and now you want to say he got lion blood in him, and that's what gave him? No, he's just a really freaking good hunter and shot. Like, that's not. I just don't understand. Not everyone needs superpowers and needs to be an anti-hero. You can just be a downright bad person. Look at Lex Luthor. He is bad because of his brain. He doesn't have superpowers. He makes objects that give him superpowers, like his super suit, but he doesn't have any. He's just downright an evil, smart genius. I don't get what is so hard about about them doing bad characters. Joker is fantastic. Joker.
But it's not about him being a hero, though.
What's that storyline, though? Oh my God,
Joker's about a man that's losing his mind.
Yeah,
something
that's not a hero story.
I can't think of it. Oh.
It's just, I don't get it, man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why. I think there's a reason why, but that doesn't mean that they should do it. I think if you think about this, there's a bunch of hero characters, right? And all the main hero characters, like the popular ones, we've seen most of them get live adaptations, right? So now it's like, what is there left to do? Do we take some obscure D-list character and make a D-list hero and make a movie about them? Or do we take these villain characters that people know pretty well because they're so tied into the A-list heroes and make a movie? It's all about IP and brand recognition. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that's why they're doing it.
Here's my thing. Andy, you said it earlier. Sony has been trying to make the Sinister Six for over 10 years.
Yeah, okay? Almost. Yeah.
It is not that hard. Here's what you do. Establish your Spider-Man. Okay? Establish your Spider-Man. Make him the one that everyone loves. Blah, blah, blah. A la a Tom Holland right now. Okay? Do 6 separate movies with Spider-Man villains, each showing off how bad they are. The last one, they're all coming for Spider-Man. You cannot tell me that if you make these guys, 6 of them, just their movies where they are just bad guys, where you're like, by the end of it, just going, oh shit, like, they're going to beat the crap out of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that Sinister Six movie you're trying to get to would not do amazing things. It doesn't even have to be that like $1 billion franchise type thing. Just go ahead.
What if they're doing that with Kraven though? What if Rhino isn't like the bad guy and like somebody who's like off to the side? Because like there's only so much you can do with certain characters, you know what I mean? But like Rhino, like would you?
But see, to me, what they're doing with but what they're doing with Kraven to me is, hey, look, this guy's not that, or he's not good, he's not bad, because look, Russell Crowe's even worse. And by the way, here's a super villain in Rhino that's going to come after him that he's going to have to stop. Kraven should be the bad guy.
Kraven maybe by the end of the movie, he's like,
by the end, but like,
I'm being naive. I'm being naive.
So he says in the movie, he says my father brings evil into the world, I take it out, right? Maybe by the end of the movie, like he defeats his father and his brother, and then he's like, wait a minute, I'm just gonna take over my dad's operation. Boom. Now he's a villain.
Well,
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's just
no. We're just playing counter. That's all. So like,
no, absolutely. I just don't.
We're hoping that's what it turns out to be, but it could easily be what you're saying. Like,
yeah. But I mean, exactly, Andy. That's exactly what Morbius and Venom have done, though. Like,
do they?
I mean, think about it. Like by the end of it, you kind of like not cheer for them because no one was cheering for Morbius, but like you've made Venom likable and lovable even. Now, granted, Venom is not a 100% evil person all the time.
Right.
Like
also Venom isn't also always the same character either.
Yes, that's the problem. Jake has always been like, Venom needs to be bad, blah, 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 blah. And if I'm wrong, but it seems like he's always been like that. He is the one, to me, out of all of Spider-Man's villains, that can tiptoe that can tiptoe the anti-hero line. Granted, my favorite version of him is when he's bad and an asshole, but that's not every version in the comic books. He tiptoes on whatever he's doing. Kraven has never been good. Green Goblin has never been good. Who else? Rhino has never been good. Mysterio has never been good. Like, you don't pull these ones and be like, oh, we'll give them like a little bit of good. Like, no. Doc Ock, yes, he has. He toes that line. Right. But when he's bad, he is fearsome, which we have seen. Like, I think done accurately, we've seen Green Goblin and Doc Ock executed to perfection. Everyone else, trash.
So let me ask you guys this.
Well, I'd say Kirk Connor Lizard in the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll give you. He wasn't that bad.
Thank you. All right.
Let me ask you guys
give me
this.
one.
Is there a place like for a bunch of movies about bad people?
Yes.
Like, so I'm saying, like, all right, when you watch a movie, right? It's like every movie sends a message, right?
Right.
And it's like, I'm not saying every movie needs to be like, let's teach our kids about how to be a good person. Not every movie needs to be that, right? But I'm saying, like, okay, if you tell a Kraven movie where the whole movie displays that he's an evil villain, what is the movie trying to say to us? Like,
I'm coming for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
that's okay.
Gives us something
basically,
to look
it's
forward to,
hyping up the villain and to show us, okay, when Spider-Man faces this guy, it's going to be a worthy opponent, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's fair.
You can make something incredible because you have two movies to like establish who they are. The third movie can just go into it.
You don't even have to do 6 individual ones.
No.
Maybe one of them, you have 2 of them together and it's like a team up. And then by the end of it, they're like, we need to take out.
I mean, hey, what if Rhino and Kraven team up to take out his brother and dad?
I need help taking out my father's empire.
That could be the beginning of a friendship right there.
Well, again, we're like hoping that's the case, but it could easily go against what Brian says. But another great example of what I thought did it to perfection. One of the redeeming qualities of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was Mark Strong as Sinestro.
Oh, he's
by the end of that movie. By the end of that movie, he puts on the yellow ring and just like, oh my God, I want to see that.
100%. 100%. They should do, honestly, a spinoff of Sinestro, reestablish that, and have Sinestro be have Mark Strong be Sinestro in DCU because he is phenomenal.
You bring him back
phenomenal. Waller. He is the best part of that whole entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not even the main character. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Mark Strong is he's the perfect Sinestro.
Yes.
I literally just got chills thinking about it because when he puts on that yellow ring at the end, you're just like, oh damn.
And that whole movie is him like trying to convince, guys, we got to do something about this parallax, thing that's happening, and just, oh man, one of the best side arcs of any comic book movie. But you know what I thought of, unfortunately, when why can't villains just be villains? The Fast and the Furious franchise. Because like how many of the bad guys become family? Like,
don't spoil 10. I haven't seen it
I'm
yet.
not gonna spoil 10, but like Jason, they found a way to make Jason Statham part of the family after he killed Han.
A lot of complications, but yeah.
Oh my god! And then same with Owen Shaw, Luke Evans, right? Same thing with him.
Everyone.
God, Jesus! Even Luke Hobbs in like Fast 5,
and
like he was
Charlize Theron. You already said Charlize Theron, right?
Is she? I no, honestly,
yeah.
I mean, I know that she toes the line of like she's at least pretending to.
Wait, is she only in 9? No, she's in 8.
Eight.
That's what I'm saying. They started to show that in 9. That's why I said that.
Yeah,
they started to show that she's not like she wasn't against them completely in 9, right?
She wasn't in 9, really. Wasn't she in prison for the most
time? Well, in 9, she was in prison, and she had that one quote, something about Star Wars and Yoda or something. Yeah. And I was just like, what? But yeah, that's a perfect example right there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it's like they can't help themselves.
No,
like nobody's just bad anymore. Like
it reminds me kind of, and this is a little bit off, but I mean, Disney, Walt Disney World in Florida for the longest time has been rumoring, this is going on decades, that they are going to build a villain world in their park. And so like have literally it just be the whole entire park is like a villain park. But they are terrified to build it because it is too evil to have a park dedicated to the bad guys. But people still have been clamoring for it for years. We want this. Give it to us. Blah, blah, blah. But it's
Hades better be in there.
Everyone should be in there. But they cannot. It's so hard for them to just commit to bad guys.
Well, Darth Vader slaughtered children, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, do they want to put their brand
around Disneyland
behind evil? Like that's the thing.
I don't know.
But it's just storytelling. It's a creative thing. It's not like we're literally saying it's okay to be bad. It's storytelling.
Yeah, but the way society is right now and crazy people and shit, you just you never know.
I don't know. It's just.
So are there any villains that we can think of that like just they stayed villains? Like
yes. And one of them is releasing on what was formerly known as HBO Max next year. That's Colin Farrell's Penguin series, which, man, I don't know if you guys saw. Yeah, crime. Yeah. Oh, man,
but freaking see for that. James Gunn is one of the only people that has the balls to actually just do it.
Oh yeah, like,
he's totally.
That's what he was talking about the genre. Yeah,
he's totally fine with.
Well, because even some of the characters in his Suicide Squad movie, they're still bad. Like
Suicide Squad is a movie about bad guys trying to do good, but only for their own reasons to try to like get out. Like there's that is the
how they're forcing them to do good. They have bombs in their heads.
Like, that is how you can get away with still making them good guys. What they're doing is good.
Yeah. Zod is a great example.
Yep.
There's not one sliver of good.
No.
One of the best parts.
It is literally
and that Kryptonian, I should say.
Yes. That is I know a lot of people had the argument of Superman killing. But like you just said, there was not one single ounce of humanity in that character to where he would have kept coming every chance he got.
You know what you just reminded me of a lot of times when a villain is evil and there's no way of them being good, they always kill them. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like That's crazy to think.
Killmonger.
Yep.
In Black Panther, that first movie,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you understood his motivations with Wakanda and like the people in oppression, but like it was just totally the wrong way of going about it, you know.
And then
yeah,
didn't. I'm trying to think. At least in Christopher Nolan's Batman's, Heath Ledger, obviously, the Joker, we
Scarecrow,
can't. But Scarecrow made it out, right?
I mean,
Or he just got locked. I think he locked away. But we killed Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
We killed Bane.
Bane got blasted by.
Oh, that's right. Bane got
bike.
effed up.
You'll just have to imagine the fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other.
Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Oh,
yeah. Harvey Dent.
He died. Yeah,
he was going down an irredeemable path. Yeah,
yeah. And then you could even go with other movies. Birds of Prey, Black Mass got blown to all hell.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah. And see, there are characters that you can sort of toe that line with, right? Like a popular character that people want to see in Batman 2 from Matt Reeves is Victor Freeze. You know, Mr. Freeze, right? What does he want to do?
He has a reason, though.
It's his wife, right? What's the wife's name? Nora, I think the wife's name is, or something like that. But anyways, yeah. It's just like that right there could be an example of like, okay, that makes sense right there, you know.
Nora is right.
Yeah. And so like there are characters that you can do that to, but when you start taking characters who are traditionally, you know, evil and bad, and it's just like you're going about it the wrong way. You have such a rich catalog to choose from, but you chose this one for what Jacob said about like, you know, money and like, you know, recognizable.
And it's not an excuse for every single villain to like, well, we're doing this for our family.
Thank you, Gordon.
No, you can't just keep reusing it. Like, honestly, kind of, Gio, what you were saying, which I kind of feel like if they continue doing it, would be a problem with everyone's a disgruntled Iron Man employee. Like, I remember after you saying that for Mysterio, and I'm like, oh shit, you're kind of right. There is a lot of that. Like, you need to be able to like have a different reason. Like Ares, that's a completely different reason. Like, he is a god of war and he wants war,
violence, and you know, all that stuff.
Makes total sense why he would be a villain. So I mean, to be honest, actually DC does a decent job. DC pretty much does a decent job with their villains. Now that I'm going, the only one that I had issue with was Doomsday, but I mean,
yeah, Riddler, Paul Dano's Riddler, you know, that's a good example right there. Just
perfection. Riddler. That one, I mean, he was just a serial killer. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. He has no reason to do it.
Kill people throughout that Batman movie.
So it's just, I don't get it. It seems to be heavily more like the Disney side, Sony,
right?
Like that whole side. DC has always not been afraid to drop the cojones,
and they need to continue leaning into that. You know, that's
and I've been saying this for years. DC will always have one thing up on Marvel, and that they can go violent,
right?
Uncomfortably violent, and not even be close to anything like family friendly. They can get away with sex, violence, drugs, whatever, and no one's going to bat an eye.
Right.
Because it's owned, because if it's on HBO, everyone knows it's what they're getting into when it's on HBO. DC's characters are not little soft characters. They're more adult.
Like, by their nature, they're mature, dark, and
So play into that. Like, that is a strength, not a weakness. Like,
I think what's good about it is Matt Reeves definitely recognizes that, and James Gunn And those two right there with their and I throw in Todd Phillips as well. You know, I'm curious to see what he does with Harley Quinn and his version.
I'm very curious to see what Muschietti does with Batman.
Oh,
I will
100%.
say I will say this. I do not like the Flash, but every single thing that he did with Ben Affleck's Batman, even Keaton, I was okay, I'm on board for Batman. At Flash, taking him out of it, every time there was a Batman on the screen, I was bought in. Especially Affleck's Batman. Affleck's Batman. So, as long as he keeps that tone, I have trust him, have no qualms. So, I just hope.
Yeah, real quick. Was Mark Strong a sympathetic villain in the first Shazam movie because of his childhood deception at the start of the movie?
That's hard because that movie is a family-oriented movie. But, I mean, he was still pretty nasty, in my opinion.
Yeah, all that boardroom scene where they all went out the freaking window.
Yeah, I don't really think he's that sympathetic. He was pretty nasty, especially with the 7 deadly sins. And
now that I think about it, yeah, he's up there. He was a
and I still haven't seen Fury of the Gods, so I don't know.
I like Fury of the Gods, but it's like hopeless now.
yeah. I mean, just throw it on when you're folding laundry, Brian.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Well, guys, I gotta say, like we initially planned on going an hour, and we went our full time, but it was a very good discussion, and that's
felt like we were just chilling in Brian's living room again, talking.
Oh man, when are you inviting us over, Brian?
I haven't even been home in a month, so you tell me.
I hear you. Real quick, I got to bring this up. This is a fun fact right here. Kraven was Ryan Coogler's original choice for the villain of the first Black Panther movie, but Sony wouldn't grant him. Damn it, Sony! If Ryan Coogler had Kraven, definitely would love to see that.
I mean, I'm glad Killmonger was so good, though. So I don't know.
Yeah. If Black Panther wasn't what it was, then I would be like, flip off Sony for not letting that happen.
Yeah, but we ended up getting a great movie.
Yeah, it's like
regardless.
Okay, like it worked out fine.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the discussion, everyone. Star Drew all in the game. Andy, Gordon, Karen, Shane, Johnny, love you, bro, and everyone else who popped in just to say hi or
John,
check out the discussion. Yeah, appreciate you guys so much. You guys can find our social media handles and plugs in the description right there. Karen, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Appreciate that. And again, appreciate you guys' support so much. That's going to do it for us. Next week, I imagine we will be talking Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I think that's a given. Come on now. And should be a fun discussion. We'll definitely have Jake on. Hopefully we'll have Keith on. And all 5 of us just get into that conversation. And that's going to do it. You can find everything else beneath. I think I already said that. It's time for some food. It's
in the description. You'll find
it. It's in the description. And that's going to do it. All of you have a nice, safe week ahead.
Thank you.
June's almost over. My God. No. That's going to do it. I'll hit the stinger, and Brian, you hit the end broadcast, and we are out in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Wow.
You said hit the broadcast. Here.
No, I'll hit the stinger. You hit the end broadcast.
Not gone yet.
Let's try this again. And in 3, 2, 1.